Happy Friday. So we are trying a new setup. We'll see, brand new phone, brand new headphones. Let me know if this is working. So if you hop on, give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Let me know what's happening. We'll wait a couple minutes while everybody filters in because this is a very important topic and I don't want to spend another half an hour talking and not having video, which happened to us before. So let me know. Again, give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. New phone, new headphone, new mic. Betsy, if you can hear me, give me a wave. Amy, give me a hello if you can hear me. It is happy hour. I have kombucha. If you haven't tried this, Health Aid, it's amazing. Get some. It comes in various sizes. It's incredible. So let me know if you guys can hear me. Give me a thumbs up, give me a wave, give me something so that I know that we are actually taping. Since I've had some technical issues before and I've done a whole half an hour program and nobody could hear me. So I'm not getting any feedback from anybody. So I don't know if we're good to go or we're not. So we are just forging ahead. I'm Dr. Jordan Leasure. I'm the owner and physician of North Shore Proactive Health, a state-of-the-art wellness clinic in the northern Chicago suburbs. I am a DC trained in functional medicine, and we are talking tonight about self-love. So pull up the chair, pull up a significant other so that everybody gets in on the important topic tonight. Grab yourself a beverage. Again, kombucha, sparkly tea, good for digestion. I love it. So we are talking about this because it has a lot to do with stress management and wellness. And I think that it's oftentimes a topic that gets ignored. But there's a great comment on my post earlier today where someone put that they used to think that it was selfish and they have now learned the opposite. So they are much more enthusiastic about practicing. We're going to hit on a few articles from Psychology Today, and we're also going to cover a few things from this great workbook, the Self-Love Workbook. Actually, this was a giveaway that we gave all of the women that attended our women's retreat last October. We were supposed to do one in April. We'll see when this quarantine gets lifted, if we're able to do one in October. Who knows? Maybe it'll be virtual. So I want to cover this because, as most of you know, I have sort of a sordid past when it comes to depression, anxiety, and some of those issues. And I think that anyone that has can definitely relate that the main thing that you lose when you're in that state of mind, when you're feeling anxious, when you're feeling depressed, is self-confidence, is the motivation for self-care. And that's the number one thing that you need. So I'm hoping that these days, Pritzker just announced, if you didn't hear earlier this afternoon, that schools are canceled for the remainder of the year. For your students, for your seniors, that is going to be extremely traumatic. So I'm hoping that some of this information you're able to relay to them as well and implement, obviously, yourself for practice, but also, give them a little bit of space, give them a little bit of support, because this is a very interesting time. And if you combine how you're feeling with inexperience, some additional anxiety, hormones, it's a whole new world of disruption. So let's hop into some of this. So the importance of self-love. I started this book myself. I actually leave it on my nightstand. I use it sort of as my gratitude journal as well. But there was a fantastic quote to start this off. So, the active practice of accepting, caring for, and encouraging oneself. That's the definition of self-love. And self-awareness is where we really need to begin. So what is it that you need to make you happy, to make you feel fulfilled? They go into, anyone that's studied psychology, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And I think a lot of us get stuck, right in the middle there because we feel that we don't have options. So maybe we're in a relationship that we're not thrilled with. Maybe we have a job or a vocation that we don't really feel calls to us. And if you're unaware of what your position is in the world, where you fall, what your purpose is, you're unable to achieve those higher levels. And you need to start at the foundation of figuring out what that is. So maybe if you have paper near you, if you have a pen and you're jotting down, notes as we're talking, put in there that you're going to schedule some time for yourself to work on you, because that's some of what this is. It's difficult to have self-love if you don't know what makes you happy, if you don't know what's missing. So let's schedule some time to make that a priority. Now, self-exploration is in there as well. So understanding, if you have internal conflicts in taking care of yourself, does that conflict with taking care of a child? Do your needs and your wishes conflict with that of a spouse or maybe that of a employer? Those are very clear definitions that need to be established. When Will and I first started dating, we were shopping, and he was going about his business and put in the cart a gallon of milk and put in the cart, probably, for anybody that knows him, like a thing of bourbon. And I drink alcohol, not super frequently, and especially during quarantine, I've cut back. I'm trying not to drink at all. We don't have alcohol in the house. But I saw these two items in his cart, and he knew that I was interested in health and that I was a chiropractor and that health was important to me. But I looked at the two things he put in the cart and I said, those are both very inflammatory and you can have one. And he was like, haha, you're so cute. And I said, no, seriously, because I don't have dairy. For those of you that know, dairy in the house, we don't do plain bread. And he was like, okay. So he put the milk away. He chose the bourbon. And, we hadn't been dating that long, but as things progressed, and I said, I don't plan on having this in my house. So if we move in together, we will not have dairy in the house. And same kind of thing. He was like, haha, you're so cute. But he learned very quickly that there are a few things that are no-goes for me. I couldn't obviously be with someone that smoked. I couldn't be with someone that did drugs. I couldn't be with someone that, and I'm not equating that to drinking milk, but these are just some of my wellness values. And I wouldn't be with someone with excessively unhealthy lifestyle choices. And in my estimation, that is drinking milk, eating bread, things like that, because I knew not only for us, but I knew I wanted to have a family, and I knew what my expectations were in raising that family. And for those of you that know us, Parker is dairy-free, gluten-free, sugar-free. Now, what does that mean? We've been to Italy. He's tasted gelato. He's tasted spaghetti. Around the house, we don't have it, but if we go out and he eats meatballs, I'm realistic in my expectation of cooking. And I realized that, yes, when they were making meatballs, is there probably some sort of gluten in there, whether it's a breadcrumb or, who knows what. Yes, I recognize that. So when I say that he is gluten-free, dairy-free, and sugar-free, he absolutely is at home. And then we do our best to minimize that when we're out. If we go out for breakfast, he has gluten-free pancakes. If we are, again, eating dinner, we do our best to make sure, you're not going to see him with a plate of mac and cheese like a lot of kids. You're not going to see him eating, I don't know, a Snickers bar or an Oreo, not over my dead body. So those were things that were very, very clear for me. So knowing what your priorities are, and again, for me, that just comes to food, but for you, making sure that you're not having internal conflicts in your relationships and the situations that you put yourself in. That's very important. And that's a very easy foundation for practicing self-love. Now, self-care. I think this is what everybody expected that our topic would be when we mentioned self-love. But please, please remember that self-care takes very many forms. For me, lately, it's been working out. Jan was kind enough and generous enough to send Jade and I both a Peloton. So it had probably been a solid, and I'm embarrassed to say as a provider, a solid 3 years of me not working out regularly. And for me, that's like 5 days a week. If I'm not doing that, after about 48 hours of not working out, I'm a different person. And I feel that lull. I feel that anxiety. I feel depressed. I don't feel as outgoing and energetic as I should. And 48 hours is a pretty quick turnaround time. There's some people that may not notice it and they feel good much longer, but for me, I need to be much more active. So Jan bought us these bikes, and I've been riding every day. It's only been a week, but I've been riding every day. Today, my ride was cut short because Parker fell into the wheel. Yes, he's okay. But I'm hoping to hop on tonight and finish that so that I can keep my personal streak going. Other self-care modes could be a massage. It could be a pedicure. It could be getting your hair cut. It could be something as simple as going for a walk. It could be alone time to read a book. I had a meeting with one of my coaches, and I said, I feel really guilty because lately I've been just sitting and like binge watching TV. So I'll get done with a week of work, and Thursday night is my jam. If anybody watches, like, I think it's ABC, the Thursday night shows, Grays and whatever. And I said, I'll sit down and I'll watch 3 hours of television, and I feel guilty. I feel like I should be doing something. I should be writing a blog. I should be, doing something for the supplement company. And she had a great explanation. And she's like, Jordan, you're going at 120 miles an hour all the time. And if that time comes and all, you're spent, then the best thing that you can do for yourself, and it sounds kind of funny, but the best thing that you can do for yourself is to sit down in front of that television and relax, recharge. And that is okay. So that may be, self-love may come in strange packages that you wouldn't expect. So don't discount yourself. And as I'm going through this, hop on and let me know what resonates with you. What do you consider self-love? What do you consider self-care? What are your coping skills like when something doesn't go right? I think that is a foundational quality that we need to pay a little bit more attention to. Now, for me, communicating with my husband has been a learning experience over these few years because we are very different communicators. We have very similar personality styles, but that does not lend itself well to communication. So anyone that's taken a personality test, whether it's a Myers-Briggs or one of the other ones, I'm a high D. I'm very direct. I don't usually explain. My expectation is, I say something and it's done. And that's very challenging at the office. It's very challenging at home. I often have Jade be the go-to between myself and staff, because that can come off as being very intimidating. It can come off as being angry. It can come off as too direct for a lot of people. And I don't mean that by any means. I am probably the most empathetic person that you'll ever meet. By friends, have been equated to a Sour Patch Kid. So I'm apparently sour on the outside and very sweet on the inside. But that can be true. And so that communication style doesn't lend itself very well to self-care because it's too direct for a lot of people, and that comes off as aggressive. So I need to be careful in how I'm communicating and how I'm addressing others' needs as well. Journaling is a fantastic form of self-care if you haven't. So writing letters to people for maybe things unsaid, issues, conflicts, unresolved. We had talked about this before at our retreat. We wrote things down, we put it in a bin, and we burned it. So we were essentially letting go of that stress and anxiety. And that can be done, while you're here in quarantine. You don't need to be necessarily have like a burn bin, but write down things that are irking you, things that are ailing you. Being in this pressure cooker like we are right now, it's completely normal to have conflicts with the people in your house, being short with your children. You may love them more than the air that you breathe, but there's only so much all of us can handle. So that's okay. And make sure that you're willing and able to recognize when maybe things are going awry and you need space. When your tank is empty, take some time to refill it, but also give that space and give that love and give that allowance to your significant others or to your children, because we're all in this together. And it is a, that I don't know that I want to say on film. Rhymes with clustered duck. Self-esteem. This is a big one, especially for women. There's not a lot of male patients that I run across that this seems to be, at least they're not aware of it being an issue. But a lot of my female patients, we have self-esteem issues, I think, as women. We have a lot of competitive nuances among other women, and we have that drive and that desire within ourselves. And I think a lot of times, instead of seeing women as our tribe, we see them as competition. And you may not know, but elephants are a matriarchal society. So when you see like pictures of herds of elephants, it's I was gonna say women, it's females and babies, females and adolescents. There aren't men. The men get kicked out. And the women are taking care of one another and protecting one another. The males are used for, obviously, procreation. And then they're sent they're sent on their way. And I don't think that humans should necessarily act in that manner, but I think that we could take a cue from a lot of different animal societies and be more supportive and recognize that we are stronger together. So that comes, I think that starts with, as individuals, having more self-esteem. We all have incredible qualities and we all have gifts. So taking the time to recognize what that gift is and being proud of it and being happy that you have something to share, because we all do, whether you know what it is or not. This resonated with me. I was doing one of my Peloton rides, and there's a coach, his name is Cody. And you can tell, for anybody that, I'm Michelle, I don't know if you're still on here, if you've done one of his rides, but you can tell that he just loves what he's doing. It's like he was born to coach, to teach Peloton. And when you are self-confident and you recognize what your gift is, you radiate in that manner and you vibrate at such an incredible frequency that you're able to draw others to you, and you're genuine and you're enthusiastic. And now's the time, if you're not in work, or if work slowed down, you can be worried and you can be scared, and you can also concurrently figure out if the circumstances that you were in at that job or at that vocation or whatever it may be, if that was not genuine and that was not true to you, then, maybe it's time to do a little research and do something else. Just a thought. There's a possibility. There's plenty of opportunity right now. You have to see the opportunity in the chaos. That's what's getting me through here. So the next thing that I want to touch on is self-kindness. I think that we forget, and again, I'm only speaking as women. If there's any men in here, give me some feedback, give me some pushback, give me some thumbs up if I'm on the page with how you're feeling as well. But I think that we are very judgmental of ourselves. I think that we speak to ourselves in ways that oftentimes we wouldn't speak to our worst enemy. So, taking a minute and putting some affirmations on, either your closet door or on your bathroom mirror, but being positive and being kind to yourself. There are days that, I could look at myself and be like, oh my God, what's going on with this? what's happening with my jawline, being super critical. And on the flip side, what I've chosen to do, and I said something about it early in the videos, was with this situation we're all in right now, I used natural beauty products. So I had bought a beauty counter collection, and it was not cheap. And it was like 8 products, and it looked great, but it sat on my counter for probably a week before all this stuff had started. And as the impending doom of lockdown was becoming a reality, I said to myself, you know what, I'm going to use this and I'm going to see if it makes a difference in my skin and see what happens. So part of my self-love and self-care has been to take that extra time, and this sounds very funny and it sounds very simple, but this is what self-care and self-love looks like. I've been washing my face. I've been taking my makeup off. I've been using this like 8-step skincare line, and I love it. I think my skin feels softer. I think my skin looks better. And I have never, literally in 40 years that I've been alive, done this. I get facials, but I do not take care of my skin. I'm the person that goes to bed literally with like full makeup on, and I sleep in my makeup like most of the time until this past 5 weeks. Now, that may seem to a lot of people like something I should have been doing anyway, but I wasn't. So that is my self-care, my workouts on the Peloton, getting up early. Do I want to be getting up at 5:30? Probably not, but I'm doing it and I'm loving it. And before Parker fell into the wheel this morning, I was actually having the highest output of any ride I had ever done. And I attribute it to him being in my room and him being my why. And I'm riding to improve my health so that I'm around to spend time with him. So that's what my self-love and my self-care looks like. So having self-respect sort of goes along with self-kindness, not tolerating things that are incongruent with the belief system that you've established for yourself. So in addition to speaking kindly to yourself and not judging yourself or not judging your choices, being respectful of those choices is absolutely key. Allow yourself to forgive yourself, which is challenging, and it's important because if you harbor resentment and you harbor regret, the only person that hurts is yourself. In Chinese medicine, they believe that the liver and the kidneys are the house of anger and resentment. And so they believe that whether it is some sort of kidney dysfunction, any sorts of cancer, hepatitis, any sort of disease in that vein, it's the Chinese medicine belief that is because you're harboring these bad energies. So again, people have said it 1,000 times, when you're feeling angry or you're feeling jealous or you're feeling regret, that only hurts you. That doesn't hurt the person that wronged you. So you have to be able to let that go. That's another thing that you could write down as you're journaling and give peace to it, because you're not practicing forgiveness for anyone else. You're practicing forgiveness for you. And then finally, self-growth. Now, being able to engage in all of these previous activities is what allows for self-growth. So knowing where you are and where you would like to be is what allows you to take the steps in order to get there. Now, what does this have to do with stress and wellness and immunity and all that? And again, for those of you just tuning in, this is my kombucha. Check it out. It's amazing. Find some resources. So obviously, the way that I integrate this to practice is for my functional medicine clients. I am by no means a therapist. I'm not a talk therapist. I discuss with patients why, how they're feeling, and how they're feeling has impacted their health and how it will continue to impact their health. But I don't take the actionable steps to address and implement change. There's some incredible resources out there right now, whether it's a life coach or a therapist that I would recommend reaching out to. I think everybody should have a coach. I think everybody should have a therapist. You need someone that will be honest with you, that will listen, but also give you some really good objective, hopefully, feedback. Setting an intention, doing visualization exercises, making a vision board is a great way to take these goals, take this self-love ideal, take where you want to be and help to materialize it. I think of a few different people that would like to see a vision board done every year. Maybe that's for you, maybe not. We did a wonderful welcome vision board workshop at our women's retreat last October, and it was very well received. Everyone was very excited. And there were some great goals and some great breakthroughs that were made, because sometimes it's just taking that time to outline what it is that you need, because I think a lot of us don't do that. So that would be my homework for everybody is, whether it's a vision board and it's pictures you cut out of a magazine, or it's your journal and you write down a few goals. Take a look, and we've talked about this before, setting some 5-day goals, setting some 30-day goals, and maybe setting some 90 and 1-year goals so that you are able to implement some of this information that you're learning. And it may be improving physical well-being, it may be improving mental well-being, but if you're able to outline some of this, I think that it will absolutely help. So I wanted to wrap this up really quickly with a prescription for self-love from Psychology Today. And we're going to run through this kind of quick because this went longer than I thought, but become mindful. So again, you need to know what you're thinking, what you're feeling, be aware of your body, being able to recognize those slight changes or that slight uncomfortability, that gut feeling that I think that we suppress as a species. There's a reason for that. Your neurotransmitters are made in your gut. We've talked about this a million times. There's a direct correlation between your gut and your brain. There's a reason that you get that tingly, that spidey sense. It's legit. So don't ignore those things. Act on what you need rather than what you want. I thought this was fantastic. By staying focused on what you need, you turn away from automatic behavior patterns that may get you into trouble. So that may be things that you eat, when you eat, why you eat, not engaging in physical activity, things like that. Number 3 for them was practice good self-care. So you'll be able to love more. People high in self-love nourish themselves daily through healthy activities like sound nutrition, exercise, proper sleep, intimacy, and healthy social interactions. I think that we forget about that quite a bit. That's my one fear with all of this stay at home is the societal health that was already essentially in ruins in the United States, I think is hurting all of us. I spoke to a client this morning who told me that she's noticed that her blood pressure is extremely elevated because she's not around other people. She's not having the social interactions that bring her so much joy. She's not entertaining, all of those things. So please stick with these videos, comment, engage. It'll be more socially fulfilling. Get together, text friends, do some of these, virtual happy hours, things like that. Do what you can to talk with other people. Number 4 for Psychology Today was set boundaries. I hit on that a little bit earlier. Know when to say no. I think we lost me a little bit. It's okay. Know when to say no. And you'll love yourself more when you set limits. And that may be work, it may be love, it may be activities that are just too depleting. Number 5, protect yourself. Make sure that you're bringing the right types of people into your life. This one is super important. I've had a few times in my life where I have actually not. Video chatting is a great way to still hang out with people. Ashley, that's awesome. That's a great idea. We use an app called Marco Polo to send photos of Jameson and Parker to to the family. So it's a cute way to do like little mini videos as well. But protecting yourself. I've actually had to sort of cut a few friends out of my life because they were just not positive, not, they were more draining than they were contributory. And what does Michelle say? I see it with my clients and all those I coach. I keep trying to engage with them as much as I can. Send wellness texts. Absolutely. Yeah, I've said it before. I've actually made it a goal to text 3 friends a day and just say, how are you? Thinking about you. Are you alive? What's going on? And I think that that's very important that we all stay connected. So again, number 5, protect yourself. Set priorities on who should be a part of your life and who is too draining for your time. There isn't enough time in your life to waste on people who want to take away the shine on your face that says, I genuinely love myself and life. You will love and respect yourself more. That was an awesome quote. Number 6 for them was forgive yourself. I hit on that quite a bit. We're very hard on ourselves. So everyone take a minute right now, take a deep breath. So breathe in the positivity of the evening. Happy Friday. Thank you, Erin Snell, out on her bike today. Erin broke her arm twice, once on her real bike and once with me as a child. Breathe in that positivity. Exhale all the bullshit. And forgive yourself for anything that you've been harboring. And then finally, number 7 for them was Jessica say, I love to hug myself because I love myself. Absolutely. And I was there the first time, Erin. Finally, number 7, live intentionally. You will accept and love yourself more, whatever's happening in your life, when you live according to your purpose and design. And we hit on that much earlier. And you know what? If you don't know, that's a great reason to get a coach. I have some awesome, awesome connections. So if you need somebody, it can be done virtual. It can be done, over the phone. It can be done in person once we're all free. But please, please get somebody to talk to and figure out what it is that you want to be doing. What brings you joy? Because life, seriously, is way too damn short. If your intention is to live a meaningful and healthy life, you will make decisions that support this intention and feel good about yourself when you succeed with this purpose. If you love yourself more, you will love yourself more if you see yourself accomplishing what it is you set out to do. You will need to establish your living intentions to do this. And unfortunately, this goes hand in hand with saying no. This week has been insane for me. I've been doing blogs. I've been doing media appearances, which is amazing. I don't want to put it out in the universe that I don't want this, because I do. I love it. But, Will and I sat down, and between running the office, seeing patients, doing wellness consulting, doing speaking, owning the supplement company, I can't do everything. And so I'm going to be utilizing this time at home to prioritize and figure it out which of these things brings me the most joy. Because his favorite quote is from our friend and the best man in our wedding, Mr. Ben Mahoney, who said, or had a plaque on his desk apparently, that said, if you have more than 2 priorities, you have no priorities. And apparently that resonated, and it should resonate with all of you, is figuring out what are you true to, what do you need to be doing, what brings you joy, and eliminating the rest of it from your space. So I hope you found this beneficial. I know it was a little bit different than what we've been doing, but the self-love workbook is what I would recommend if you want to check that out. I think at least you could get it on Amazon. I don't know if it's considered necessary, if it'll ship now or if you have to wait till May. But either way, take a look and see, and, practice some of that self-love, that self-care. Let me know if you've watched this live. Thank you, Erin. If you're watching the replay, feel free to share. We're really making some headway, I think, in how people are responding and implementing some of our recommendations, because we're getting some great questions. So as always, if there's something that you want to discuss privately, please feel free to send me a message. If there's something that you want to sort of poll the group, send me a private message. I'm happy to post it anonymously. And as always, if there's something that I can do to help, please reach out to others. This is a crazy time, but you know what? We're getting through it, and we will continue to get through it. And what have I been saying for the last month is we're going to come out stronger on the other side. So happy Friday. Cheers. I love you. Have a wonderful night. Mwah. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.